Hey everyone, and welcome. This is a difficult video for me, and it's taken me a while to upload and to sort out what I'm feeling and what I want to say, and I'm just going to drive right into it. So, I'm a spiritual worker, and whoever follows me knows that I sell God and serenity, and that's all I'm interested in. Except in the last few weeks, I'm in Israel. And we've just, I can't even begin to explain, experienced the worst that can ever be experienced by one side of humanity. We've had our children slaughtered, raped. I can't even begin to get into this. And I often say steer away from these sites because once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. But with all the denials that are going on and all these pro-Palestinian Hamas rallies that are happening and denying what happened to us, we feel very much alone in all of this. And I want to bring something so that we can really look at this. The chain of every single religion starts with one person, Abraham. He was everybody's father. My father, your father, Muslims, Christians, whatever. It's the religions that have separated us. Because if we have one father, then we're one. And what I'd like to explain about this father that we call Abraham, which is the one that we aspire to be, is that he was the first Jew, Yehudi. That's nothing to do with religion. The meaning behind that is the essence of who you are. To be a Yehudi means that you don't ask questions with regards to God. You are so totally embossed with him that you don't question. It's we do and then we will know. The Gentile, in this case, are the ones that keep asking and say, no, I need to understand this. This doesn't work. No, you've got to do it my way. You've got the bickering, the disagreements. That's the Gentile, which we call Goy. You can be a Muslim Yehudi. You can be a Catholic Yehudi. And you can be a Yehudi. You can be Jewish, Catholic, Muslim, whatever it is. But if you are in that space of Abraham where you do not ask questions and you understand the oneness and that we all have come from the same, you are Yehudi in your essence. It's a state of being. That's where we want to be. And in that space, we join together. What do we not want in that space? We don't want beasts. We don't want evil. We don't want devil. That's what we're experiencing right now. The lowest of the lowest of the lowest are showing us, do we want to be that? Or are we going to choose a different path? Because you see, the one thing we keep overlooking is the fact that we were given free choice, how to be. And the how to be reflects and ripples into our world and brings it back to us. So people often ask me and say, but what can we do? We're sitting at home. Now the soldiers are in Gaza. The killings are going on there. Yeah. And then again we say, what else can we do? Would you all like to be sitting ducks, sitting at home, having rockets on you 24/7? Every day. Because somebody out there doesn't think that I deserve to live a life here. And I want to ask, where is the choice of the other side? There's nobody on earth that isn't living on land at this very, very moment. Everybody's been given a piece of land, but everybody wants to live history, his story. Where do you start? How back do you go? And if we want to talk about Palestine This narrative that grew and grew and grew, and it just shows you how the devil, which is the mind ego, can exaggerate and take a story. You know that game where you whisper something in somebody's ears and there are 12 people, and the one at the end has to say the sentence that the first one said, but now it's all distorted? That's what's happened. Just so people know the facts. People who go to these rallies, do your own research. Don't just blurt out what people are saying. When you say from the river to the sea, do you understand that that means that you have to annihilate me because of a piece of land that you believe belongs to somebody else? Well, first of all, there was never a country called Palestine. There was a territory called Palestine. And the people who ruled over that territory were, the colonial Brits. They knew how to go into other people's lands and make it their own, as it were. And if you wanted to go abroad and you needed a passport, you would get a British passport, a British subject passport, a Palestinian British passport. There was no government. There was no prime minister of this Palestinian state. So we want to get our facts right, just for the moment. And even that doesn't matter. Because if we are spiritual people, we live in the now. And in the now, everybody is living on a piece of land. And instead of that community taking the billions of monies that have been poured into them and build the Riviera of the Middle East, they have invested the money in trying to kill us. That's their mission. That's how they've spent this lifetime. And it's unfortunate for those few innocents that are in Gaza. And I believe there are. And those are the people I want to talk to, because those are the people who have light in them. And the responsibility of light workers is to bring out the light in others. You're not going to be able to do it with the Hamas because they're too far gone. They're gone. They're not here anymore. So what do we want to do? We want to understand there are two ways that we can live our lives. We can take our lives into our own hands and build a life, or we can go downhill and just kill the world. This beautiful world that God gave us to appreciate, to have fun in, to enjoy, to be healthy in. What have we done? We've been listening to the mind ego, Satan itself. So what I'd like to explain is we've just moved on the 7th of October when all these atrocities happened. We've all moved from the third dimension, which was blah, 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 to the fourth dimension, preparing us to the fifth. The fourth dimension is death. Two ways, either by the flesh or while we live. What are we killing? The ego. Because on the fifth dimension, we do not need the ego anymore. So death is the killing of the ego. And the minute we don't have that ego between us, we become one. And we become one with the God that created us and created each and every single one of us. We don't need that mind anymore, but we need to choose. We need to choose. And I'm appealing now to every single Muslim that can see the light and understand that we have a choice to become one again, the children of Abraham. We are not cousins, we are brothers. We had the same father. That makes us brothers. It doesn't make us cousins. Cousins is a good name because it puts us a little bit of twice removed. But we are brothers. And we have to do everything to turn this around and bring the light back. And we have to stop the killing. We have to stop right now. Yes, the Hamas has to be got rid of. I wish a spaceship would just come down and take them and we're done. And maybe reprogram them and bring them back. But we want to bring back humanity. And this is our last chance because we're going towards something that if we don't do this, I don't have to say any more about that. And I want to say this thing. if there was a Palestinian woman right now who's suffering, who had a child killed, and she sees the light, I will hug her. I will hug her so tremendously hard because I feel her. What I won't do is care what anybody else thinks about me. I will not. I will not be spewed on. I will not be harassed. I will not be told that I can't walk around with my Magen David. I will not care what anybody's opinion is about me. I will care about my family. I will care about the people who are still suffering here. Forgive me for being emotional. Some have not had their children identified because it's impossible to identify them if you only saw what these beasts did. And while I'm walking around in mourning, I still find compassion for anybody else's loss. But I will not tolerate your opinion about me. I have a right to live. You have a right to live. To live. You do not celebrate death. You celebrate living. You celebrate life. It's a miracle. You wake up in the morning and your eyes open and your heart beats and your lungs are filled. And that's happening to you. You're not deciding that. That's a given. That's a gift to you every single day. The thing that we are in charge of is how do we want to feel between being brought into this world and taken out. So God is something that you can't name. It's the Tao. It's that which cannot be named. And because it cannot be named, and because you don't understand it, you have to surrender to it so that the answers come after the surrender. You can't know it before you've surrendered. And we want to surrender to God, to our Creator. And we want to say to Him, please, give us this other chance. Give us this chance. We should not be fighting over a piece of land because everybody in the now has the land that they can build their life on. And if we all live in peace, we'll be visiting each other without any passports. But to annihilate a nation because they're living on a land that you believe is yours somehow, what? I want to use this word, but I'm not going to. But honestly, wake up. We're on borrowed time here. We'll come back as something else. What if you fought all your life for a piece of land and the next lifetime you come back on something else that's got nothing to do with this? What have you done? What have you done to your children? You bring children into this world and you educate them from the age of 3 to hold guns and hate Jews. What are you doing? What are you doing? If you can't wake up, we can't have you around. But for those who do wake up, please, let's join together in the light. Let's make this world a better place. Just because we can. Just because we can choose. Wake up. So now on the other side of things, every single one now is emotional, is going through something. Let's use what we're looking at to cleanse ourselves. If I'm looking at something that brings up anger in me, if I'm looking at something that brings up hate in me, that vibration in me has to go. Because as long as we abhor those feelings, guess what's going to happen? The world will reflect that to me. So I want to cleanse that. Every single moment. If I have a judgment, I want to cleanse it. I want to surrender everything to God. I want to be clean so that I can come to you and hug you and help those who are not yet in the light. That's our mission for every single one of us. We go inside, we see what's happening, what does it bring up in us, and we clean our internal world so that we can vibrate that to the external world. That's something we each can do. What can't we do? be in charge of the outside world right now. But we will change it when we change our inside world. So I invite everybody to take a moment, to take a pen and pencil and write down and say, what are the feelings that I'm feeling? Where are they in my body in relation to everything I'm watching? Look at those feelings and understand that those feelings exist in you. And as long as you're the one feeling the feeling, you are vibrating it. And that means that if we don't cleanse our feelings, we are equally responsible for the world we're seeing. Each and every single one of us. If everybody does inventory, if everybody takes responsibility for what they're feeling, we've just changed the world. I also want to say to mothers around the world, I wish we could all hold hands and just say to the male ego who's destroyed our world, and I'm not a feminist, I'm talking about facts. We've got the wombs, we've brought our children into this world. Did we bring them here to kill and be killed? I don't think so. I don't think so. And if we all manage to get together and say to these egomaniacs, stop using our children, we won't allow it. Maybe then something will change. Maybe something then. I don't have all the answers. I have one answer. And that is, I can do what I can do. And that's look inside me, see what I can repair within me, and vibrate love and light to everyone else. And yes, where there's evil, we get rid of it. We get rid of it. First within us, and if we have to, we will get rid of it on the other side. And I'm sorry for those civilians who are innocent on the other side. Not all of you. Some of you. Because if you support Hamas, you cannot be innocent. And if you saw with your own eyes what Hamas did, and I understand that you don't want to, and I understand that you want to be in denial because it's such a difficult thing to admit to. What was my people part of that? How could that be? Very difficult to look inside and see your own. Very difficult. I can understand that. But if you're not willing to, then you're with them. And don't ask me for sympathy, because I can't give it to you right now. I can give compassion. I can give sympathy to those who are innocent in the light and are taking responsibility for their inner world. I can't give it for those beasts who are not willing to look inside and celebrate death. And that's where I stand right now. And I hope something from what I've said will come across. And let me tell you, any nasty comments will be obliterated. I'm not answering anything that's nasty. Keep it light, please. So today's Shabbat over here. This evening, I'm going to pray and send out light to anybody in the world who wants to join in the light and say, this is enough. We're choosing to love our neighbors. We're choosing to come together. We're choosing to feel that we are part of one God, one whole nation. Choose to be the Yehudi, the one that doesn't ask questions, but is totally bonded with God, and we trust in God, who created us, that he will do the best he can for us. And he will. But we have to come to him. And the only way we can come to him is by surrendering our own will, our own cognitive, and this mind ego that thinks it knows something. Because it doesn't. It doesn't. So I'm going to wish us all a Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for listening.